moves into the final round. As we take a look again in our Diamond P Sports replay, you can see some oil smoke puffing out of Bill Mullen's car. There you see the red light. He left too soon. That means he left before the green light came on, thus giving the win automatically to Amato. Back at the starting line, Dick LaHaye getting ready to go. LaHaye, one of the most consistent drivers in the business, may need all of that as he is racing the man that is currently number 2 in the World Championship points chase. Gary Ormsby finished in the runner-up spot to Joe Amato at the recently completed Winter Nationals. That makes him number 2. Amato has now won and moved into the finals of the Gator Nationals. If Ormsby wins, he will keep pace with Amato. But Dick LaHaye is trying to bring a halt to that at the moment. Kim LaHaye standing looking on. She's the crew chief on her father's car. Dick LaHaye in the far lane. Ormsby into the staging beam. Now LaHaye. Both drivers waiting patiently. And a great start for LaHaye. A tremendous hole shot as Dick LaHaye's car just burst off the starting line and holds on to take the win. 5.70 seconds. Steve?
Joe Amato watching his old friend Dick LaHaye get into the final round where, Joe, you will get a shot at him yourself.
The best news is we can win a 570. We've got lane choice. Dick's a good boy. We really like to see him do good.
But the cheering was for lane choice.
Well, no, not for lane choice. Well, we're cheering for the World Championship right now because Ormsby's right behind us. And that's 200 points. We just moved ahead of him. You know, you got to go every round by round. That's the way you be the world champion.
Well, you've been conservative so far today, but I have a feeling the final round all the stops come out.
Well, all the stops come out because we're not going to worry about the blower then or anything else. You know, we're going to try and, go out. The only trouble with that, if we do run real fast, it won't be any kind of a record because we have no backup.
See you in the starting line.
For the second year in a row, Joe Amato is in the Top Fuel finals at the Gator Nationals. This year, he is racing Dick LaHaye in the far lane. LaHaye did a superlative job of driving in the semifinals as he strapped about a 1-car length hole shot on Gary Ormsby. As the cars continued down track, Ormsby tried to make up the difference, but was unable to do so. 5.70 to a much quicker 5.57.
Good news is there was a bright green light, and you're in the finals against Joe Amato, who will be tough.
Well, Joe's always tough, but I've raced him before in the finals, and I like Joe, and we're all kind of family, and the best man will win this one.
You gave up lane choice. Will that hurt you at all?
I've been running in the lane that nobody wants all weekend anyway.
We'll have a good final round. Dick LaHaye, Joe Amato.
And Dick LaHaye has mastered that lane. Joe Amato, though, has the lane choice in the Top Fuel final. Here's the semifinal round of Funny Car Eliminator, and we've had a swap of lanes. This is John Collins now in the near lane and Kenny Bernstein in the far lane. If you'll remember, Bernstein had the lower elapsed time of these two cars. He had the lane choice. Moved now from the right-hand lane, where he'd been running previously throughout the day, into that left-hand lane. For John Collins in the previous round, he recorded the quickest elapsed time ever of his career at 5.74 seconds, but Bernstein was just a heartbeat ahead of that. Bernstein and Collins losing control, spinning the tires off the starting line, and it is Bernstein through the finish line lights. The crew showing their reaction to a new national record of 5.64 seconds at over 256 miles an hour. The next two cars already running on the starting line. This is Raymond Beadle's Blue Max, driven by John Lombardo. Across the way in the far lane, the Pontiac Firebird of Dale Baldy and Mike Hamby. Let's go down to Steve Evans with Kenny Bernstein.
That was a picture-perfect run from our standpoint. What about from your standpoint?
It was real good. It was loose in the middle of the race course. When I shifted the car, it really got loose and moved over towards the center line. But that's just the way it is. It still made it through, so it was a nice run.
All right, let's go back to the starting line and see who Kenny Bernstein's opponent will be in the finals of the Gator Nationals.
Steve, Kenny is the defending champion in the Gator Nationals. He'll be racing either Little John Lombardo driving the Blue Max or Dale Baldy driving that Pontiac Firebird. Baldy, if you'll remember on the previous round, had a wheel stand and some tire smoking problems. If he can overcome that, he is going to give Little John Lombardo a tough run. Another wheel standing, tire smoking start for Baldy. He gives it all he's got, but it's not enough as John Lombardo pulls away at the finish line, and the Blue Max is in the finals 5.76 seconds at over 255 miles an hour. As we go back to the starting line and watch again, the car in the far lane, the red Pontiac Firebird, with the tires smoking, the wheels in the air, Poley trying to keep control.
Well, what a final we have set up for the Gators. You, John Lombardo, set the record just a few weeks ago at 5:68. Kenny Bernstein just took it away from you with a 5:64. What a matchup.
Yeah, it should be a good race. We've got lots of power. The car's running great. All we've got to do is we've been real careful not to smoke the tires.
Our funny car final, Kenny Bernstein against John Lombardo, and obviously Bernstein having lane choice, as we'll be coming back to the Gator Nationals in just a moment. The Motorcraft Gatornationals in Gainesville, Florida has got 3 defending champions in the final. Warren Johnson in Pro Stock is being challenged by Bob Glidden. It is the classic matchup of the factory hot rods. This is a Ford Thunderbird driven by Glidden from Whiteland, Indiana. He won the recent Winter Nationals Championship and in doing so established a new elapsed time record. Warren Johnson wheels an Oldsmobile. Remember, both of these cars are powered by engines limited to 500 cubic inches, 2 4-barrel carburetors, and racing gasoline only. No exotic fuels used in Pro Stock Eliminator. Lots of RPM on the start and a tremendous hole shot for Warren Johnson in the Oldsmobile. He pulls ahead of Glidden right off the starting line and pulls it through to the finish. And Warren Johnson wins his second Gator Nationals in a row. A dejected Etta Glidden turns away, while an obviously elated Arlene Johnson runs across the track to offer her condolences and a big hug to Etta Glidden. As they say, it's like family in Pro Stock racing. Johnson 7.60 at 183 miles an hour. Here you have a better vantage point of the whole shot by the Oldsmobile and Warren Johnson. He pulls ahead of Glidden right at the start, and Bob Glidden in the Ford T-Bird was trying to play catch-up the entire 1,320 feet. But it was not to be this day, as Warren Johnson wins his second race in a row.
Warren Johnson wins his second consecutive Gator Nationals, and you won it all the way. You were off the mark first, and it was really not a contest at the finish line.
Well, I liked the winning the race, but it was kind of disappointing because I didn't run another 55. So, but this race is a really significant one for me. Like I said before, I've never won 2 NHRA consecutive races, and I really have to say this race belongs to the crew just as well as it belongs to me, because the fact that they prepared the car well, which is an example of the 55 runs. A consecutive car is a consistent piece, and all I have to do is sit in and drive it.
And the fans go and watch the funny cars in the Top Fuel Drag shows, how hard they work on those cars at the races. All your work really takes place at the shop, 80-hour weeks.
That's correct, Steve. All our work is definitely at the shop. We don't have time to finesse these motors at the racetrack because there's too much intricate hand labor involved on these motors, porting cylinder heads, massaging pistons, and so forth. Where their type of racing is based on just replacing parts only, not really finessing them as we try to do.
Nice job.
Thank you, Steve.
Warren Johnson repeating as the Gator Nationals champion in Pro Stock Eliminator. We've got another defending champion, Kenny Bernstein, in the far lane. Last year was the first funny car over 260 miles an hour at the Gator Nationals. He won the event. Now he is in the final. His competition is the man from Dallas, Texas, Raymond Beadle, and the Blue Max, with little John Lombardo doing the driving. The Ford Mustang-bodied car of Lombardo is at a slight performance disadvantage in this run, as in the semifinals, he was some 0.12 of a second slower than Kenny Bernstein. And smoking the tires off the starting line is Lombardo. Bernstein, on an easy run, wins the Gator Nationals for the second year in a row. The elated crew jumping into the car to head down track to pick up their driver, Kenny Bernstein. There you see the times, 5.70 at over 254 miles an hour. As we watch again, John Lombardo said he had not smoked the tires all day, but he picked the worst time to do it in the finals, as the tires losing traction, and almost as if he is on another burnout, John Lombardo has to call it a halt.
Well, first Warren Johnson makes it 2 in a row. Now Kenny Bernstein, 2 Gator Nationals victories in a row.
Oh, that's super. We're just tickled to death. Steve, needless to say, thank all our fans, Budweiser, Motorcraft, and Ford, and especially Dale Armstrong and Jeff Scarp and the crew guys.
You know, I know you wanted both ends of the record. You got one in. That's bonus points towards the world title. The engine, from down here anyway, sounded a little ragged right off of the line, and maybe that's where the speed went.
Well, it may have been. We were afraid to really hop it up too much more from the 64 run because we didn't want to smoke the tires to get the mile per hour back. But our one goal here was to win the Winston World Points right here to go to the championship, so that's what we did.
A big step towards that right here.
Hey, I appreciate it. You bet.
Fine job by Kenny Bernstein and the entire crew.
Steve, it's 2 out of 3 at this point of our defending champions in our professional finals at the Gator Nationals. Kenny Bernstein winning his second Gator Nationals title in a row. Back in the top fuel pit area, Kim LaHaye, the crew chief, on her father's car doing the wrenching, getting set for the finals against Joe Amato. Race remains at the Gator Nationals in Gainesville, Florida. That is the finals in Top Fuel Eliminator. Dick LaHaye making his last moment preparations for the run as his daughter and crew chief, Kim, looks on intently. Just a few moments ago, Steve Evans had a chance to stop by the LaHaye pit area.
A lot of attractive young girls in their early 20s dream of being actresses, models, airline stewardesses, the glamour jobs. Well, Kim LaHaye considers what she's doing right now to be a glamour job because she may help her dad win an important drag race. Kim, you get a little greasy down here, don't you, kid?
Well, I get a little bit dirty, but it's a lot of fun.
You know, you guys are running a very conservative operation here. You're not putting a lot of pistons in like the Joe Amatos and some of the others.
We have to run it pretty conservative so that we can race all year. We have to race weekend to weekend and make a living at it, so we try to be real conservative.
Well, all this oil can't be too good for the hair and the complexion.
Well, actually, the oil is probably the best conditioner for your hair there is.
Kim LaHaye, great attitude.
Steve, she's got a great attitude and has done a great job wrenching on her father's car. That's Dick LaHaye in the far lane. He's racing against the defending champion, Joe Amato. Amato, the quickest elapsed time in eliminations thus far, has got to be considered the favorite going into this run. For LaHaye, he once again gets stuck in the lane that nobody else wants. He's been the master of it thus far and is once again with a whole shot over Joe Amato, and Dick LaHaye pulls away at the finish in a stunning upset. A brilliant driving job, and Kim LaHaye showing the emotion of the moment as her father is the Gator Nationals champion at 5.65 seconds, and what a beautiful grin on the face of Kim LaHaye. The driving job by Dick LaHaye against Joe Amato, another hole shot. The car performing flawlessly as the wheel just touching the pavement as he dances up the starting line. And as we see Dick LaHaye's car not missing a beat, a full car length or more ahead of Joe Amato at the finish.
Dick LaHaye being congratulated by the Joe Amato crew. Jerry Amato giving him a hug, said if we had to get beat, it might as well be by a real good guy. And Kim, you got to be proud of your dad today.
Hey, he's been doing an excellent driving job all day. He's just doing fantastic.
What a job this young lady has done. I mean, on the engine, under the engine, anywhere she had to be.
Yeah, we actually hurt 2 pistons at this race. We hurt one in the second round and one in the third round, and I think we got her fixed now. It didn't hurt anything that run, and you know, I couldn't do it without this lady right here.
It's nice to win a big one and know you haven't already spent the money and parts you broke to do it.
Oh, I hope to tell you, yeah. I mean, the one cylinder head never came off the engine. We had to take the left one off twice.
Congratulations, both of you.
Thank you very much.
A brilliant driving job, a masterful performance as a mechanic by the LaHaye family. Our congratulations to all the champions, Dick LaHaye, Kenny Bernstein, and Warren Johnson, the professional winners at the Gator Nationals. The executive producer of Diamond P Sports is Harvey M. Palish. Produced and directed by John B. Mullen. The 1985 Gator Nationals have been brought to you by Budweiser. For all you do, this Bud's for you. And by Goodyear. Goodyear tires and Goodyear service for more good years in your car. And by Ford. Have you driven a Ford lately? Promotional consideration provided for and a fee paid by Suzuki. Choice of 10-time national champion Terry Vance. See the complete line of world-class performance bikes at your Suzuki dealer today. Suzuki works like a single moving part. And by Konica. Konica CB301 color video camera weighs only 1.6 pounds and is designed for easy use. Furnished by Konica. And by Tegrin. If what you have isn't ordinary dandruff, switch to Tegrin medicated shampoo. It medicates the scalp. Tegrin medicated shampoo. And by Persona Blades. Tough guy personified. Get a smooth shave that's not tough on your wallet. Get personified. And by Boraxo. Boraxo hard-working hand cleaners for hard-working hands. Powdered, waterless cream, and heavy-duty liquid from U.S. Boraxo. racing from the NHRA.